Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for, this is for the next 6 months, the rest of the year, basically. And we're just going to jump right in here, Gemini, and see what's going on for you. You have this Time to Go card and also this All That Glitters card. The All That Glitters card, it's like, well, I'll show you in a minute, but there's gold and it has some masks on it, and it kind of says that something was maybe not what it appeared to be, or something is not as it appears to be. And I feel like this is just leading to a new beginning with the Ace of Wands. So I really don't think this is a bad thing, by the way. I think that you're just heading towards a new beginning, plain and simple. And you have the Ace of Wands, Nine of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. I feel like you have a lot more options than you realize, is what I would say to you here, Gemini. But I feel like you need to, it's like, I feel like you need to pick an option, is really what I'm getting. I don't know exactly like what else to say. The other thing I would say, what I will say, Gemini, with that Seven of Cups, is that the Seven of Cups perfectly kind of describes the time that we're in with Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces, we can have these like crazy ideas, basically, to start businesses, to, make changes in our life, whatever. But Neptune and Pisces, it's like we see, we kind of like enjoy the fantasy too much with Neptune and Pisces. And when we start to think of the reality, it's like we more focus on the bad things instead of like actually just seeing how things go. So, lately, I feel the energy of the Seven of Cups is encouraging people to like more have experiences, because I feel like it's saying that we need to have more experiences. We need to get out there and experience more in life and try new things, but we also shouldn't assume how something is going to turn out. So the Seven of Cups, sometimes I think we can kind of think about a business, but then we might say to ourselves, oh, my past 10 businesses failed, so this one definitely isn't going to work, instead of trying it, instead of finding out, right? So I kind of feel like you have to find something out here. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups, of course, is wish fulfillment. So I do feel like there's some sort of wish or wish fulfillment coming in for you here. Something, that you've been hoping for, but it's going to come when you make a change. And we know this because you have this Time to Go card. You also have the Chariot here. The Chariot, he is leaving the city behind him behind. And the Chariot, of course, is a very good card. It is a card of, success and victory, but he's having to leave something behind. And then you have the Ace of Wands right here. The Ace of Wands, there's this castle right here, and the castle is crumbling. And so the Ace of Wands represents out with the old, in with the new. It can represent just a new beginning, or an exciting new beginning, feeling enthusiastic about something new. And maybe something, I feel like something from the past was this right here. It looked like gold, but it was really just something that was wearing a mask. So this could be a person for a lot of you. For others, I feel this is your career very clearly. Like, I feel like you could be making changes in your career because, like, what you thought it would be is not what it is. And so you are maybe, making some moves to, make a change or to do something different in your life. And that's what it seems like is kind of going on here. With the Ace of Wands, you have the World. Yes, definitely something has ended. Something is complete in your life and you're just ready to move on to the next phase. You have too many cards here that represent a conclusion. I mean, this one, Chariot, leaving something behind. Eight of Wands is a quick conclusion as well. So it's like you are ready for the next stage. I always look at the World and say, in the major arcana, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we just start all over again as the Fool. So there's clearly a new beginning here. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Five of Cups. I feel like you need to stop thinking about a disappointment and start thinking about something that you want, I feel like some of you have this Unreliable card, and it has like a Pinocchio nose. So I feel like some of you could have been dealing with someone who was just a liar. Really, it's like maybe they seemed like they were unreliable, but I also feel like they were just a liar. I also feel like this person was a projector as well. The other interesting thing that's popping into my head, by the way, Gemini, is that you have the High Priestess and the Emperor. It's like the divine counterpart to the High Priestess would be the Hierophant. The divine counterpart to the Emperor it should be the Empress, right? But we only have the High Priestess and the Emperor. It's almost as if either, take it how it resonates, either you're the Emperor or the High Priestess in this reading. And gender doesn't matter, right? I'm just talking about energy here. But it's like you thought you were with a divine counterpart, but really, I feel like this person left you with more questions than answers, is what's popping into my head. I feel like this person was a projector as well. it's kind of like one of those things. Well, I'm a Gemini moon. I'll just tell you, like, I was with a person who kept saying, like, towards the end, would say things like, I always felt like you hated me. Like, kept saying that to me when, I was always there for this person. I clearly did not hate them, right? But then, towards the end, I finally realized that it's because they did things that should have made me hate them. When I found out the truth about the situation, I was like, damn, now I know why that person said that all the time. Because they were basically doing things that would make anyone hate them, right? And I kind of feel that for you here, Gemini, where it's like, you could be or could have dealt with a person who said weird things to you like that. I'm not saying it's like, oh, you should hate. I always thought you hated me, but it could be things where you're just like, why are they saying these things? But it's like really because of what they're doing. That's kind of like what I'm getting here, and that could be. And here you go with the Seven of Cups. You have the Tower again. I feel like someone was unreliable, probably had too many options, could have caused a Tower moment. I was getting something here about closure. I don't really feel this is too much of a love reading. I do feel like there's love here, of course. As always, it's a 6-month reading, of course. Some of you are going to find love over the next 6 months, and you do have the Page of Cups. But I do feel there's some unanswered questions intuitively. Like I just feel that some of you, it's like, I feel like you're over it at the end here. I don't want to skip too far ahead, but you do have the Five of Cups here. It's like, I feel like you're over the situation, but maybe you still think about this person from time to time, and you have these 2 cups here. And the 2 cups to me are saying like, it's like there's something much better coming in for you, but you have to see it, So I kind of feel like the second you separate away from this, or you kind of like heal from it and let it go, that is the second things will get better. Next, you have the Sandpiper Spirit. Says, be playful. It's kind of weird. Every single person has had some sort of card about being playful. I'm using this deck. I'm also going to use this deck, the Gypsy Oracle right here. And there are a couple cards in there that represent playfulness. And like every single reading I've done has had something about playfulness. So clearly this is like a collective energy. And, I feel like the universe, like things have been serious for a long time. If you think about it, if you look at the world, things are super serious and have been. So I feel like the universe is trying to just get the energy to move the other direction, which is more playfulness. You have this Crow Spirit. It says, co-create with Spirit. We are entering into a time of co-creation. So I think anything you can do to co-create is going to be very successful and probably create a lot of abundance. One of my favorite books of all time, The Science of Getting Rich, is a book where in that book, it was written in like 1923 or something like that. And that guy, Wallace Wattles, he was way ahead of his time. He said we're entering into a time of co-creation, basically, in the book. He said we're moving away from competition, which is like try to, force wins financially to be successful, or try to, conquer the planet to be successful. But really, we're entering into this time where it's more working together with things to be very successful. And so, I kind of feel like, number one, that would be a good book for you to read. Number two, I feel like that's the time we're entering into. It's like if we're creating win-win situations, then we're going to be very abundant. And this doesn't even have to just do with money. This has to do with everything that you want in your life. And it's kind of funny as well, because again, if you were dealing with this unreliable person, I feel that this person was very one-sided. Like they didn't really give to the situation, or they didn't really, help in any way. You have the Page of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Magician. Definitely could be a new person coming in for you. The Magician, by the way, I always look at the Magician energy as like a crow energy. You know what I mean? It's like there are even some decks where the Magician is a crow. I think it's the Wild Unknown, right? Is that the one that's... No, that one isn't a crow. But there's a deck out there where the Magician is a crow. So you could be definitely like attracting a person into your life. You could also be attracting something that you want into your life. You see that fish that the Page of Cups has? That fish might not exist. That might be part of his imagination. So it's like something that he's imagining that he wants, and he just needs to grab onto that fish and make it happen. And the Chariot basically says the same thing. It says where there's a will, there's a way. If you want something and you grab onto it, you can have it. You have the High Priestess here. The High Priestess is about trusting your intuition. So I feel like you really need to trust your intuition at this time. I do feel like things are like intuition is a little bit more clear. We've had Neptune and Pisces, and you might be saying, oh, Neptune and Pisces is great for intuition. I don't think so. I'm a Pisces, and I can't stand Neptune and Pisces. And the other thing I would say is, to me, I don't care what any astrologer says. I mean, to me, I've seen it. I've looked at like a billion charts, literally. And, to me, I can always see how Jupiter is a ruler of Pisces. So I do not personally believe that Neptune rules Pisces. Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces, but really I feel like Jupiter rules Pisces. If you look at any Pisces chart, pick any famous Pisces, look at where their Jupiter is, and then, look at the planet, look at basically the transits that they were born with that go to that Jupiter. It's very clear that Jupiter rules Pisces, right? So I think Neptune can actually confuse intuition. I feel like it can make things muddled, unclear. It's very turbulent energy as well. It's like the deep ocean, Neptune. It's not like just a nice calm lake. Neptune is like a hurricane, being in the middle of the ocean during a hurricane. So that's what Neptune is. And I feel like intuition has kind of been off because of that. Maybe we haven't been able to see things clearly, or haven't been able to understand things. I mean, I've been saying since the beginning of Neptune in Pisces that it is deception, and we're like in an age of deception. Look at all the truths that are coming out in the world, and it's like we're going to see a lot more truths. We're going to see a lot of things coming out that are the truth, right? It wouldn't surprise, I've said it before, it wouldn't surprise me if between now and like 2026, 2027, if the government officially announced aliens being real, or if the aliens just freaking landed on the White House lawn. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. Mark my words. Remember this video. Come back to it when it happens. But you have this Magician card. So there's clearly some sort of new beginning because you have the Ace of Wands in the world. I also feel like you're attracting things very quickly. It's funny because I feel like the Magician is almost a warning, but it's like saying, be careful what you wish for. You're going to manifest things very quickly. So make sure you're manifesting good stuff. Make sure you're, manifesting from the positive side of things, right? With the Page of Cups, you have the Chariot. Definitely some sort of victory coming in for you. Look at this. This is a big win right here. You have the Chariot twice. The Seven of Wands just says you have to believe it, which is kind of what I was saying because of this Magician going to the Seven of Wands. The deeper you believe something with the Seven of Wands, the more likely it is that it's going to happen. So I feel like you need to believe things on a deep level. With the High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles, something wasn't worth it to you anymore. Right here. It's like whatever this was, I feel like you saw it, what it was, kind of like I did. And, again, I said I'm a Gemini moon, so it wouldn't surprise me if something very similar happened to you where it's like you saw something for what it is that led to a change, And I feel like you're just changing direction. With the Magician, you have the Three of Cups. I would use people to help you manifest things as well. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with positive people. When we do that, then we manifest more positive things. Obviously, if you're surrounding yourself with negative people, the opposite is going to happen. So make sure to keep it positive. Next, you have this card that says, know that whatever decision you made, it was the right one. I'm telling you right now, whatever decision you made in this situation was the right decision. You have this unreliable card. You're struggling with finishing things you start. I do feel some of you, Chariot, you need to see something through to the end. This probably in work or business. You also have this card that says, start only one thing at a time. Start small and believe that you are a finisher. Ooh, I love that. I feel like you need to believe that you are a finisher, that you can get to the finish line, and that you can see something through to the end. So especially for those of you that are starting new businesses or just new exciting careers or new directions, I feel like you need to believe in yourself more, especially with the Chariot. Chariot says where there's a will, there's a way. Seven of Wands, right next to it, card of conviction, says if you believe that you can do something, then you will do it, plain and simple. So, I would take control with the Emperor showing up in this row, and I would make something happen. You have the Chariot, the Emperor, and the Queen of Pentacles. So again, the deeper you believe something, the more likely it is to be true with the Chariot. So I feel like you really need to, kind of work on your deep-held beliefs, what you believe to be true for yourself and what you believe you can accomplish and all that other good stuff. So that's what I would do here. I feel like some of you could be moving. You have the Chariot twice, the Tower and the Eight of Wands in the world, and the Ace of Wands. So, some of you wouldn't surprise me if you were moving. This card, though, represents as above, so below. The Chariot, you can see that he has stars in his canopy, moons on his shoulder. So your manifestation is going to be on fire for the next 6 months. You have the Emperor here, so I kind of feel like some of you are looking for an Emperor type person, or you're looking for your counterpart, because again, it's almost like, you were with a false counterpart, someone who seemed like a counterpart, but they were actually the opposite of what you thought they were. I feel like this person was a liar as well, like I said, with that unreliable card, very unreliable. I feel like they had a pattern, Again, maybe you did this with this person multiple times, where they repeated a pattern, so I would be careful of that, but I feel like you're looking for something new with this. You have the Queen of Pentacles, card of resourcefulness. I encourage everyone to be resourceful right now because, I feel like there's just a lot of opportunity to do things without having what you think you need. So you might think you need money to start a business, but you actually don't. You might think that you need to, be at a certain place in life before you can have love, but you actually don't. I feel like the universe is trying to get us to kind of like take control, clearly in your reading with the Chariot, and make something happen now. Don't worry about the circumstances that you're in. With the Chariot, you have the Ten of Wands. Again, you're moving away from burdens. I feel like you're moving away from, heavy weights, things that have been holding you back, people that brought you problems. Again, if this was a person, they could have just always brought you a problem, never anything good, never anything positive, just always an issue. With the Emperor, you have the Star. This is like you're wishing for something much better. We see a lot of wish energy in this reading. Again, that Crow, the Magician, the Chariot twice. So I would definitely make a wish with the Star card. And I really feel like you need to believe in yourself here is what this reading is saying. The Star says what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. She's pouring water normally onto the land from the pool of universal consciousness, and it just says what's possible for one person is possible for you. So if there's something you want to accomplish that you think is impossible, if someone's done it, you can do it. And I feel like you really need to believe in that you can accomplish something great. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Six of Cups. Again, I would be careful of a past person, especially if the past person is trying to come back here. I feel like they're up to no good, so they could be wanting to, apologize. I kind of get the feeling of someone like trying to say everything that they should have said in the first place. It's like now they want to come in and provide closure. Now they want to say all these things, and I think that you should just ignore them and say, deal with it. Eat crow, right? You have that crow there. That's all I would say. Next, you have this Clam card. It says, open up. It's okay to feel vulnerable. I feel like this is open up to a new person. You have this Whale. It says, your voice matters. Speak your truth. For some of you, maybe you want to rip this person's head off, right? And again, I would say if someone's coming back from the past, I feel like they're in for a surprise. You could be really letting them have it. Again, I would be kind, but I think we can totally, tell someone how they made us feel, and we can do it in a positive way. Right? And that's what this looks like to me. So if someone is trying to come back from the past, you might give them a piece of your mind, but it's like they deserve it. The other thing is I feel like it's safe for you to open back up. You have the Seven of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. I feel like you need to realize that this is not how everything is going to go in your life. Like, not all relationships are going to turn out negatively. Not all businesses are going to fail. I feel this is saying, like, you need to open up to something new. But I also do feel Seven of Wands is my card of belief. It says when you believe something deep down in your DNA, that's when you can really make something happen. So I feel like you need to believe things deep down in your soul. Like, believe that you can be successful. Believe that you can have whatever you want, and then you will make it true. You have the Five of Cups. Again, definitely some sort of disappointment you had, but he has these two cups behind him. And I always say when he turns around and sees those two cups, he gets that bridge in the castle. So it's like there's something good happening after a disappointment that you've had. I feel like maybe the first half of this year or maybe last year you had a disappointment. It's like now, I wouldn't say you're being rewarded. I just think you've kind of pulled yourself out of it and you're getting something good. You have the Eight of Wands, which is quick success or quick conclusion. I definitely feel both. I feel like if this was a person, you had a quick conclusion, but you're about to have a quick success. I also feel, again, Eight of Wands is a card of manifestation, so you have a lot of manifestation cards here. I would definitely use your powers of manifestation to get what you want at this time. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. What are you waiting for, right? You can wait all day long, but until you take action, nothing's going to happen. I do believe we are in a time of needing to make a move. Three of Wands is literally my card of like waiting for things to be perfect when they will never be perfect. So if you are waiting to start a business or a relationship or whatever, and you're waiting for things to be perfect, that's never going to happen. This is saying like, get moving. With the Five of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. So make sure you're balancing your energy out. Make sure you're not like working yourself to the bone as well. With the Eight of Wands, here you have two cards. You have the Seven of Cups and the Moon. I really feel someone's trying to sell you an illusion, is what I would say to you. So, this could be a past person here, and, they could have really been selling you an illusion. It could have done a number on you, and maybe it's made it hard for you to trust, but I kind of feel the Moon is saying this was just a temporary period of time. Again, the Moon is temporary. Moon comes up, Moon goes down, the sun comes up. So I feel like this is something you've already moved past, but at the same time, I feel like you need to move past it here, Gemini. A bunch of cards falling out there. You have this letter card popping out. I don't take pop-outs, and that was like more Butterfingers than it was a pop-out, but, again, it wouldn't surprise me if there was communication from a past person here. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this pleasure seekers card. I literally just said to someone, I don't remember which side, that everybody's had a card of like needing to have fun or do something fun over the next 6 months. So make sure you're at least inviting fun into your life. You have the Two of Pentacles, which is like work hard, play hard. So again, make sure you're balancing out those energies. You have this service card. I feel like someone wants to be of service to you as well. If you're attracting new love, definitely could be an Aries coming in for you, or it could be a Cancer, I suppose, as well. But I feel like they have good manners. Like, see how he's holding the door there? It's like that's what's popping out to me. It doesn't matter what gender you're into. I feel like whatever gender, it's like I feel like they're like really just a good person, and you can see it through like their manners, the things that they do. You have this Lord card, yes, attracting a fancy person. So again, doesn't matter what gender. I feel like you could be attracting someone who's like, a fancy person, very successful, hardworking, or like royalty. So that's what I get there. Next, you have this money card. This, I will say, the second half of the year seems much, much better for finances. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. Definitely not. I mean, if you look at the astrology, someone called me a conservative the other day just because I simply said that there are going to be money problems between now and 2026, but it's in the astrology. And by the way, I do not support government at all. I am a crazy person. I believe that we are ruled by reptile aliens, and I think they should all be thrown in jail. So, there you go. I don't support any single one of them. I think they're a bunch of snakes. But, so there you go. How's that? Not conservative, I'm not a Democrat. I hate it all. So, boom. But what I would say here is that, again, there's going to be craziness in the financial markets for a while. So prepare. But again, I feel like the second half of this year seems like better for money. You have this prison card. A lot of people have had this card as well. I just want to see what else you have here. But, what I would say is I think the problem is only seeing one way of doing things. Like, you don't have it, of course, because I'm trying to prove a point here. But, everybody's had, like, the Eight of Swords, for example. You do have the Emperor, which could be a card of control and only seeing one way of doing things as well. So, what I would say here is if you're feeling stuck, like a lot of people have had these cards of prison. There's a couple of different cards in, this deck and even some of these Oracle cards here. And, like, everybody's had something. I really feel the universe is, like, trying to get us to be creative in the sense that, like, if something doesn't work that you want to do, find another way to do it and you will be successful. But this looks pretty good here, Gemini. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your year.